Hi, my name is Reagan Perkins, and this is my lesson plan project for my character analysis for theater and understanding scripts. So for my Teex, I have 1E, which is analyze characters by describing attributes such as physical, intellectual, emotional, and social dimension through reading scripts of published plays. And then here I just have the rest of the information to find this on the Teex website. Learning objectives. Students will be able to identify a character's objectives. Students will be able to organize, represent, and interpret the data drawn from the scripts to analyze the character the student has chosen. Students will be able to determine the character's reasoning for their objectives and describe how it affects the story, character, and the world of the play. Students will be able to critique the world of the play and the character's inner and outer monologue, and understanding the character's why. Language objectives. So the students will be able to analyze by plugging in information gathered from reading the scripts about character analysis through this I Want worksheet, and looking in depth at the dialogue and the character's motives. Students will be able to pick a character and monologue to analyze from the scripts I've provided. And this worksheet is basically just a very simple acting worksheet looking at the character, the play, and starting the students to think about the objective and what is it that their character wants. Because when you are acting, you are not saying anything that does not mean something to the story. So everything you are saying matters. And this also, the text area will help the students create their beats. And a beat is a pause. And whenever a character has a pause, there's a reason for that pause. And so for each beat, you will have an action, an obstacle, and subtext. The action is the verb, and I will provide a verb list for the students. What are they doing? Are they looking? Are they fighting? Are they crying? And the obstacles is who or what is keeping them from getting their objective in that singular beat. And then the subtext is going to be what their character is thinking internally. So the scripts I provided are, the first one is A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. A Raisin in the Sun is about a black family living in the south side of Chicago in the 1950s, and it examines racial prejudice and gaining middle-class acceptance. And the title comes from a Langston Hughes piece of work called Harlem. And I provided a few page numbers with monologues that my students can choose, although I will be okay if they want to put something together themselves. These are just options. The next one is Electricidad by Louis Alfaro, and this is adapted from Sophocles' Electra, and this one is about... This story is about the days following the murder of Electricidad's father by her mother, and she is committed to vengeance. And this is very similar to the story of Electra, but it looks at it from more of a modern and Latino perspective, and there's lots of playing around with language in this. Lots of English and Spanish putting together, so this would be a good option for my English language learners, because they will be able to understand the script by using context clues from the Spanish words that they understand to the English words that they understand. Anybody can do this one. This is just an option that I put out for them. The next one is Radium Girls by D.W. Gregory. This one looks at the story of the women who worked in the radium dial factories in the United States in 1936 to whenever they were not doing that anymore. And the girls got radium poisoning and had a lot of physical effects, and so this is about the cases and their personal lives. This one is just a regular history play. I think this one would be good for anybody. And then the last one, this one I chose specifically for my students who may need a harder task, or for my ASL students. So this is Children of a Lesser God by Mark Medcoff. And this one is, it highlights the deaf community in a very real and non-stereotypical way, and shows the tension between the hearing and the deaf community. And this story is based on a real-life story of Phyllis Prelich. She is a deaf actress, and it follows a speech teacher who falls in love with a deaf woman who does not want to learn how to speak. She is content being the maid at the school, and it is set in 1970 in a state school for the deaf. And again, I provided some options, but again, they can choose whichever one they want. So my 3 activities that I chose for this specific lesson, so my students will be picking 1 script and 1 monologue, and then they will be doing these activities based on that. So the first activity I have is the I Want worksheet, which we talked about previously. The second activity is group discussion, and the third activity is character analysis and the world of the play through a presentation/essay. So activity 1, the I Want worksheet, students will pick a specific character and monologue to analyze from the scripts provided. And the literacies that I picked out for this were reading, so the students will read the script they choose, and writing, students will write on the worksheet with the appropriate information to fill out the topics. And then again, this is the I Want worksheet. Activity 2, group discussion. Students will work within the group that has the same script as them. They will discuss the play, characters, and the monologues they chose. They will provide help with each other with filling out the I Want worksheet if they need extra help. And during this time, I will come around to each group and see how everybody is progressing and offering up any help. The literacies for this activity are reading, students will read their scripts and their I Want worksheets. Writing, students will work together to fill out anything on the I Want worksheet. Again, they previously have done this, so it should be fairly completed, but again, if they need to compare and see what the other students are doing, this is a great time to do that and ask for help if they need it. Because I get it, it's not the easiest worksheet to fill out, especially if it's your first time. Listening, students will listen to others as they discuss the play and the worksheet. And speaking, students will offer up discussion and delve into the story of the play, characters, and the monologues they chose. So this will just be a really great time for them to kind of take a moment and debrief together and kind of process the play a little bit. And I'll come around and make sure that they're on topic, and if they need any extra help, I'll be there. Activity 3, character analysis and world of the play, presentation/essay. So going from discussion, I really want to make sure that they are processing everything. So students will apply the knowledge in form of an in-class discussion to create a short essay or presentation based on their character and the world of the play. And I will provide guidelines with slide-by-slide information of what I want, or a bullet point of things I want included in each paragraph of the essay. And the literacies that I chose were students will read their script and read through PowerPoint or essay to edit their writings. And writing, students will write either an essay or slides on a PowerPoint document. And speaking, after they're done making these presentations or essays, I want them to either create a voiceover or to present it to me in class. I don't need it to be a whole big class presentation, but I will set out days with each script where they will come up to me and present to me, and just more of a private way. Activity 3. So these are the guidelines that I have so far, just to give a little bit of an idea for the presentation. So slide 1, I want them to have their title, their name, and their slide, or their class number. And slide 2, summary of the play. Slide 3, world of the play. Slide 4, character analysis. Slide 5, main takeaways. And slide 6, concluding thoughts. And then slide 7, of course, a works cited page. Essay guidelines, I want it to be an MLA format. I want an introduction and a thesis. I want a summary of the play, the world of the play, character analysis, what did you learn, and a conclusion. So they are fairly similar. It just depends on what the students want to do. Assessments. So for the assessments, I have the summative and the formative. So I have play comprehension test, and then I have presenting the scene to the class. So they will be using their I Want worksheets to actively show in class what they have learned and the beats that I have provided them with, or that they have picked out. And then they will be also turning in their PowerPoint and essay to me and their I Want worksheet. So summative assessment is the play comprehension test. Each student will receive a test based on their scripts that they chose, and students will be able to complete the test by utilizing prior knowledge of the script. So it'll just be a character analysis of all the characters and an analysis on the script itself. The formative assessment, I want them to present, I want them to act to the whole class using their I Want worksheet, their beats. I really want to see their pauses and the emotion and the physicality that they're really working through, because this is an acting class. And they can always come to me and ask questions about that, and we can have a practice day before they do that, where they can present for me and I can offer help if they need. But then also part of this is completing and turning in their PowerPoint and essay and their I Want worksheet. I really want all of that at the end, and I want it on the day that they present. So my works cited page, that's that. And this has been my lesson plan project. Again, my name is Reagan Perkins, and thank you so much for your time.